Good morning, everybody. I have a really busy day today, and I thought I would take you along to show you some of the things that we're going to do. First, I'm going to finish up my morning protein shake here, and then I have a bunch of apples. I bought some on clearance at Kroger, so they're about to go bad. I want to get those put up, preserved, so that we don't have spoilage and waste. So I'm going to do that today. I'm going to core and peel all the apples. I also bought a few extra, and I think I'm going to try to make some cranberry chutney and put that up today. If I don't get to that today, I'll definitely get it canned tomorrow. But we're headed out on vacation soon, so I'm supposed to be packing, and instead I'm putting away these apples. So I'm going to show you what we're going to do today. I'm going to turn the camera around and let you see everything that we're going to do. And let's get to it. I guess we're going to get started. This container of apples that have been sitting here for a while. I've got a few with some bad spots that we're going to cut out and maybe salvage what we can of that. Some of them look okay. They're just starting to get a little bit softer than I would like for actually eating, so we can cook with these. And then I have this other bag of apples that I bought so that I can process the cranberries that are in my freezer. So let's get started on getting those all peeled and chopped. Start with this KitchenAid slicer, corer, peeler, chopper thing, and I got this a few years ago, but it's still available. And I think it goes on like this. That little gadget snaps on underneath. And this piece snaps in on the top. So how it works is you put the apple through here. It goes through the hole. This little doohickey thing peels the apple, and this blade right in here slices the apple. So I am going to put a big bowl out with water and lemon in it. That should catch the juices and any of the peels that come out. I have this big bowl here, and this has just water and lemon juice in it, and we're going to put the apples that we peel and slice in here so that they don't turn brown. And then all the peels and cores are going to end up in a gallon bag so that we can use those to make apple juice, and then from the apple juice, we're going to make jam. So hopefully nothing gets wasted. Anything that I can't salvage because it looks brown or rotted will end up in the compost. And I don't want to forget to drink my shake. Okay, so let's see how this is going to work. It's been a while since I've done this, and I'm sure it's very loud. I have a very old stand mixer, so the sound isn't. Oh, there you go, see? And what's great is these pieces right here we're going to keep. Oh. These pieces we're going to keep. We're going to stick them in the lemon water over here. And then these, I'm going to go in lemon water. And then this, This part will go in a bag for making jam. We're going to cut these two up by hand and see what the damage is and see if there's anything salvageable as far as jam goes. I'm not even going to do anything with those for the chutney because I don't want to take a chance that we have anything yucky in there. But that'll freeze for the jam because all we're doing is making apple juice. With those, this is fine, and then this will go in compost. And then that'll be okay for the chutney. Most of these are fine. There were just a couple that were really soft. That one, these two were, I think, the worst. Don't like the peels in the chutney. And I think I'm going to go put an apron on before I get too dirty. So that can go there. This can go in the compost. And then these pieces go in with the jam. My goal is to get as much of this done as I can before the kids get home. So let's see how far I can get. I'm going to quickly put on an apron and then get back to work. I think I'm going to gift some of the chutney because this is going to make a lot. I think I have like 10 or 12 bags of cranberries in the freezer that I'd really like to use or process at least and get them out of the freezer. And this should do it. I think my goal is, hopefully you guys can hear me over this. I think my goal is to use the chutney as just to eat with a spoon because it's delicious. So that'll go like at Thanksgiving or Christmas with our turkey or ham. You can use it as a meat marinade. It's also very good. On top of pork chops, on top of chicken, as like a sauce when you cook. And then what I think I'm going to do for gifts this year for the teachers, so hopefully, you know, they're okay if they're watching this. What I think I'm going to do is give them a jar of the chutney and then do like a dry goods jar and then have them make like a cranberry bread and using that chutney as like the inside of the mixture to put inside of the bread. And that should be delicious. I'm going to give it a go on my own first before I actually do it to make sure that it tastes really good together. I'm sure it would. It's basically apples, cranberries, raisins, and spices, so it should be pretty delicious, but we'll see how it goes after I make it. Hard to get stuff done once the kids get home. I don't know if you guys have the same issues with little ones or not. I have 6 kids. 5 of them are in elementary school and 1 is in middle school. My oldest is 12 and my youngest is 5. She just started kindergarten, so that's where we're at right now. So I'm sure all of you guys are in different stages of parenting or not parenting, I guess the case may be. We've been married for 30 years and we didn't have kids until you're 18. And all of our kids are adopted, except for our youngest is still in foster care, so you won't see her on camera yet. But we are in the process of adopting her. And so once that's finalized, I'll put her on camera as well. And every once in a while, I don't do it often, but every once in a while, those show up. And I'll be able to get all my vacation videos out from our trip to New Hampshire that we had so much fun. But again, I can't put her on video and she's in half the shots, so it would be highly edited. And I'm almost done with these little ones. Get most of these on clearance for 99 cents for the bag at Kroger. So that's why they're kind of softer now. It's been it's been a week at least since I bought them. Like I said, I meant to do this earlier and it just got away from me. So here we are now. Supposed to be getting ready for vacation, and instead I'm peeling apples. It's gonna make a ton of apple juice, which is great because then I can make apple jam. And I have a bunch of strawberries frozen in the freezer too. So I guess I could put those in with the strawberries and make apple strawberry, which is another fan favorite, or fam favorite in this case maybe. I think pure strawberry is their ultimate favorite, but that one is way more expensive. So if you can cut it with something like rhubarb or apple, it comes out a lot cheaper. And it still tastes delicious. This thing really likes, what is this, a core shredder, I don't know, peeler, whatever, really likes the big, harder apples, so it works much better like this. So this will make quick work of the rest of this bag. One tip with this though, can you see this on camera? I'm hoping you can see it. Okay. When you pull the apple off, don't pull too hard, because if you smash your hand into this is very sharp. And I have cut myself pulling zucchini off in the past. So be careful of that. It's also harder to take off the core if you take that off by mistake. So make sure that stays on, or put it back on before you try to pull it off, pull the core off. Okay, I'm going to stop right there for now because I have 5 apples left, and we have snacks after school today, so maybe I'll just cut up a couple apples for everybody and we'll call it a day. But let me just double check and make sure I have enough apples for the cranberries that we need, or for the cranberries that we have rather. So here's my pile for making juice. So this bag of scraps will make enough juice to make 6 pints of jelly, I believe. Let me just check this. There is nothing special about freezing cranberries. You just freeze them in the same bag that you buy them in. I buy them when they're on sale at the end of Christmas and throw them in my freezer. However, I ended up with 11 bags. So I must be overbuying or not using them up quickly enough. And also what is strange is I buy them in 2s, so I have 11. Maybe my mom came and used a bag in a cranberry bread, possibly. I'm not sure how I ended up with 11. But anyway, I thought I had 12. I have 11. We're just going to go from there. So for every bag of cranberries, you need 1 cup of apples, and we'll just hopefully have enough. And also, if I have more apples than I need, I'm just going to cut them up, put them in a bag, and I'll freeze those with some cinnamon and sugar on them, or even just like they are, and we can use those in an apple crisp or an apple pie later. Okay, I changed my mind. I'm just gonna peel all these. I realized that I was digging these out, and when I took the stickers off, I put little holes in them. So I'm just gonna peel them all, and we will make apple pie filling to bag up with whatever doesn't work for the chutney. Oh my gosh, I was just talking like a robot. I sound like William Shatner sometimes. Look at that. This is my actual pressure canning pot, and since I don't have another pot big enough, we're going to use this today. But that's plenty big enough, and it's cleaned out. I just washed it, And now I'm going to start pouring all the stuff in here that we need. And while that cooks down, I'm going to take, while it's cooking, I'm going to take the time to clean up the kitchen. But right now I'm just going to follow the recipe and get everything in the pot. Basically make this in any amount you want, because for every bag of cranberries, I wrote this down. So for every bag of cranberries, you need 1 cup of orange juice, 3/4 cup of brown sugar, 1 cup of apples, 1 cup, half a cup of raisins, 2 tablespoons of cider vinegar, because 4 tablespoons is 1/4 cup. So we'll go from there, and I'll just kind of extrapolate. But 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar, half a teaspoon of cinnamon, 1/4 a teaspoon of ginger, 1/4 a teaspoon of allspice, and 1/8 of a teaspoon of cloves. Now that's for one bag of cranberries, but I usually do 2 bags of cranberries when I make it. So what I'm going to do is when I put the recipe down there, I will put it down like I normally have it with the 2 bags of cranberries, but I am going to extrapolate it out based on my 11 bags of cranberries I have over there. So I'm going to make this big giant pot of it, and then we're going to can it at some point. For 11 packages of cranberries, I need 11 cups of orange juice. I need 11 cups of apples. I need 11 cups of raisins, in case you're wondering. This is what 11 cups of raisins looks like. It's huge. It's basically two of these bags. And can anybody explain to me why these were cheaper at Walmart than the actual Walmart brand? I'm not sure why, but anyway, about 4 pounds a bag, 4 pounds of raisins. It's about 12 cups. I'm just going to pour in what I have in here. We don't use raisins for anything else. And if you're afraid of the raisins in this case, don't be, because I don't even like raisins. I will eat them in Raisin Bran, probably because they're covered in sugar. And pretty much that's it. But I will also eat them in cranberry sauce, because once it cooks in with the cranberry sauce, it gets like, they get plump and juicy, and they're not dry and icky like those are. I don't know how to describe it. But yeah, so I will eat them in this, and they taste delicious. I try dried cranberries because I don't really love dried raisins. I don't really love raisins. So I tried dried cranberries, and the texture is fine, but you have no additional flavor. And I think the raisins give it a flavor that you can't get any other way. So that's why we're using the raisins. And I think they're delicious. Hopefully you give this a try and you can let me know. You do not need to make a giant vat of it and can it. That is not necessary. This recipe on its own is delicious, just as a side dish at Thanksgiving, to eat with a spoon as a snack. I am going to do a cranberry bundt cake or a coffee cake with them, and I'll show you that recipe, and hopefully that comes out great, because that's the kind of the recipe I want to use for the teachers as a gift. And oh, I also use it as an appetizer. So I also use it as an appetizer. I do little puff pastries, and then I put some like cream cheese, or if you like goat cheese, you could use that. And then you put a little dollop of the chutney on the top, and it's delicious. So you bake the puff pastries ahead of time, and then you put the cheese and the chutney on, and you serve it like that. It's also great poured over like brie, baked brie, delicious, great on crackers. It's really, really good. You should try it. It's delicious. This recipe is yum. To my pot, we are going to start by putting in these 11 bags of cranberries. This is crazy town. First I need scissors to open everything. Yeah, they're gonna get cooked. They're pretty excited. And remember, these are frozen, so freezing cranberries, no problem at all. I'm just trying to empty out my freezer and get some space in there. I feel like these have been in there for quite a while. And it's about time we made something into them. I made them into something. Made them into something. This is gonna be a lot, so here we go. I have this 2-cup measuring cup. We're gonna use that to hopefully make it a little bit faster. I still have half of this container left of apples, So I'm going to bag that up and freeze that for pies. Okay, I still have enough apples for this apple crisp. And you know what? I think I'm just going to make this for dinner. So I'm going to bake that now. So we're going to put this in here. Okay, to my apples, I just added about a half a cup to a cup of sugar and 2 tablespoons of cinnamon. I'm just going to mix this up and stick that back in that baking dish, and then I'm going to make an apple crisp topping later. Oh, I might even have one in the freezer from the last one. Let me double check that too. And we'll just sprinkle that on the top and bake it. And that'll be dinner, or dessert to go with dinner at least. Yum. Okay. Just have to go get some vanilla ice cream maybe to go with that. Ooh, delicious. This is my mom's favorite dessert, so. Maybe a nice little treat for us. And then she can snack on it while we're gone if we don't finish it all before we leave. But to be honest with you, this might be gone tonight and tomorrow because the kids love it so much they eat it for dessert and breakfast. I think the last time I made crisp topping, I made an extra bag. Oh, I did. Look at that. So this is the crisp topping. And the butter's frozen, of course, but that's okay. It'll be delicious anyway. And just kind of place it on the top here and then crumble up some of it. And when it bakes, it's going to be so good. I'll use a little more crisp topping based on the apples that I have, but this is what it's going to be. Won't be as crispy. But we'll see once everything defrosts. Let that sit out for a little bit and we'll cook it. And hopefully, there we go. Dessert is done for tonight. Look at that. Great. Where were we? I have the apples in here and the cranberries in here. So now we're going to add the raisins. All these raisins. Oh. Okay, I need more room. So one of these is 8 cups. So I'll just have to measure out the rest. And again, it really doesn't have to be too exact, but I'm going to turn the burner on now that there's liquid in there so we can start that working. Kind of a medium. It's going to take a while to get the cranberries to pop. And once they get soft, they kind of just explode and become thick. And I just did about a half of one of those. So close enough to 11. So for this, I'm going to need 7.5. Yeah, 7.5. So I'm not really going to pack this down, but 1, 2, 3, 4. 5. we'll just call it 8 so I can use up that bag. It's basically 8. Okay. So, in case anybody needs to know, there's about 4 cups of brown sugar in a 2-pound bag. All right, I'm going to cook this down some before I add any of the spices. I am going to get my vinegar in there, though, before I forget. So it's going to be 1.5 cups of apple cider vinegar in here. Ooh, 1.5, not 2. I don't know if I can get this back in there. Yeah, close enough. I don't even know. Okay. So 1.5 cups. And then we're going to attempt. Oh, this one isn't even strong enough. But as it cooks down, we'll be okay. I'm going to leave the cranberries on the bottom. This is going to take a while to cook. So while it's cooking, I am going to clean up my kitchen. And that's everything in there. I just need to keep letting it cook down some. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to clean up the kitchen. While I'm cleaning, I'm coming over to stir every once in a while to make sure that nothing's going to burn on the bottom. However, we're not even hot yet. Because the cranberries were frozen, we're not even hot yet. So we got plenty of time, but I'm just going to stir it up a little bit more. And then I will get back to putting the dishes away. Okay, I just want to show you guys this part. I don't put it in the dishwasher. Okay, this is the part that attaches to your mixer. I don't put this part in the dishwasher. However, all these little pieces that do attach to that, I do throw in the dishwasher. And I've never had a problem. Again, I've only used it maybe 10 times total, but everything seems to be fine every time I do this. So this is what I throw in the dishwasher, and that big part over there I do not. In addition to packing, tomorrow I have the fun job of returning a whole bunch of stuff to Kohl's that I bought from Amazon. So that's one of my chores before we leave on our cruise. I'm going to throw this in the oven. And I'm going to set a timer so I don't forget about it. I'll start at 45. Usually takes about an hour. We'll start at 45 minutes and see how it goes. Okay, and then I'm just going to unload these. The kids took chicken nuggets for lunch today, left over from dinner last night, instead of a sandwich. So I have these containers for their lunches that I was able to wash really well, because then they put peanut butter and jelly in them. They smell like peanut butter and jelly. And I usually, to be honest with you, just wipe them out and reuse them because it had just peanut butter and jelly in it. Did you guys ever have anything growing up that you were kind of like, I don't like that, and then when you get older you were like, oh, actually that's pretty good? You know what it was for me? You could think this is weird, but for me it was peanut butter and jelly. When I was a kid, I mean really little, did not love peanut butter and jelly, and I realized as I get older it's because I did not like the kind of jellies that my mom would buy. And now that I'm an adult, I like all the jelly, but strawberry is definitely my favorite, and I never had that growing up. And had I had that as a kid at all, or often, I probably would have liked peanut butter and jelly a whole lot more. Took some weird stuff to lunches as a kid. I took like pimento and cheese sandwiches, that Kraft pimento cheese. It was one of my favorite things ever. I ate that all the time as a kid. And I really liked that imitation crab meat salad. I brought that a lot as a kid too. I was a weird kid, let me tell you. I ate all kinds of things that other kids didn't eat. Roast beef sandwiches were one of my favorites, turkey and cheese, but not so much peanut butter and jelly. Okay, the oven just went off a few minutes ago, and I took the apple crisp out of the oven, and it is ready to go. It's all kind of like soft. Apples are soft. The top is nice and brown. It looks delicious. Can't wait to dig into that. And now this is boiling finally. So I'm gonna turn it down just a little bit. I've stirred it around, but it needs to thicken. All the cranberries need to pop. Ooh, it's hard to see with all the steam. But it is boiling. And I am going to turn the burner down just a little bit so I don't have to keep an eye on it real close and let that cook down until it's ready to go. It says it's supposed to cook for 10 minutes. That's for the smaller batch though. I'm not sure how long this is going to take, but we are going to time it for 10 minutes, check on it like every 5 thereafter and go from there, and I will let you know how long it actually takes me. And I almost forgot to put in the spices, but I remembered at the last minute. So this is the cinnamon, the ginger, the allspice, and the cloves, and those are all going in the pot, and we're gonna let this cook down. I would say this probably has at least 10 more minutes. We're gonna stir all this in, and then we're gonna taste it. And I am going to let it boil for 10 minutes. Once I get that all combined. Oh my gosh, it's hard to see because it's steaming up so much. Okay, it's cooled down just a little bit. And I cooked this for a total of about 20 minutes. I think I may use my immersion blender after it cools down a little bit more and break up some of these chunks of apples. I may regret that, but I'm thinking if I'm going to use this mostly as a sauce or as a filler for bread, I think I want it a little bit smaller. So I am going to at least zhuzh up some of this, maybe half of it, and see what it looks like, and then go from this side if I want to do it all. Because some of those apples are still really big chunks, and I guess next time I will cut those up a little bit smaller. These apples did not disintegrate as much as other apples do that I've cooked before. So Macintosh and Granny Smith, I mean, Macintosh and Cortland seem to cook down just a little bit more. These, I think, were Fiji, and they did not cook down as much as I thought they would. However, there's only a few big chunks, so maybe they'll be okay. I don't know. I'm going to let it cool a little bit more and make my decision at that point. Okay, I filled up all these jars with the stuff that was in that pot. Now I'm just gonna clean off the edges. My mom showed up and she's helping me with this project. So we're just going to wipe the edges off with vinegar, and then we're gonna process these for 15 minutes in a water bath, and we will be done. And I can put this project away. I'm just waiting for my water bath to come to a boil, and I just put this pizza pan on top of that to help it boil faster. As soon as that comes to a boil, we're gonna put the jars in and pressurize. Nope. And water bath that down. Okay, just about ready to go into the water bath. Okay, we just finished up our canning spree for the day. It is somewhere around 10:30, and this took 3 batches to do. Not too bad, but I'm really tired, so I'm going to go to bed now, and I will come back and label these and put them away in the morning. I do not store my cans with these rings on. They're really hot. I don't want to touch them, but I take these rings off so I can make sure that they don't pop in the pantry. So definitely store your jars without those rings on. Thanks for hanging out with me, guys. This project was a long one. It was a long day. Started this morning around 9 o'clock when I started putting the cranberry chutney together. And then I needed to take a break to run some errands, and my kids got home from school. My mom showed up, and we had dinner all in the middle of all of this. So I'm finally done. It is 10:30, and I am headed to bed. First, I used my new juice extractor, and from the peels and cores I had in the freezer, I got basically 3.5, oh no, these are quarts, I guess, of juice but I also got a whole nother quart that we drank. So 4.5 quarts of juice from the cores and peels that I had in the freezer. I think I'm going to make a marmalade or something with those oranges over there. We're going to try that. So then I took the peels and cores and put them, after they had cooked in the juicer, I put them in my food mill to get whatever meat was left on those. And I got all this applesauce out of that. And then the scraps are going in my compost bin right here. But I'm just feeding them through this top. They come out, the juice comes out this bottom piece. You can see, comes out here. And this is applesauce that I got from the cores and peels, and that's what I'm using, and the rest is going to compost. There's not much left. If I had chickens, I would feed it to my chickens, but I don't have chickens. And if you're new here and you haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing. I'd really appreciate it. I'd love for my videos to get out there. I feel like I have some content that I can share with everybody, and hopefully you guys get something out of this. If you have any questions about what I did here or my process for canning, I'm more than happy to answer your questions. Please just shoot me a comment below and check me out on Instagram. I'll leave my Instagram information down below and the recipe as well for this down below in a quantity that probably would make more sense for you. Okay, guys, thanks again for hanging out with me. It was great. It was a really busy day and I'm very tired. So I'm going to head up to bed and we will catch you in the next video.